Hello everybody, my apologies, I don't know what happened there. I had to restart OBS. Just said preparing stream for ages and ages, rolling over and over. So my apologies, I'm gonna have to get things set up, so bear with me a second while I figure out what I've got to get rolling here. Ah, no stress, absolutely fine.
I'm waiting, I don't know.
Copy, try refresh maybe, that might help. Let's move that over onto that screen. Live chat and put that in there. Oh, and copy, paste. Is that working? Let's click on a message. Yes, that is working. Can you hear me and see me? Things are going a little bit wrong here at the moment. My apologies. It says concurrent viewers 0. So I'm not entirely sure what is going on there. Yeah, it says we've got no viewers, but Rick says mic is live and great sound. So yeah. So stream settings, let's refresh that page. Yeah, it says on that page 30 viewers. Stream settings. Oh well, that'll do. Actually, analytics, is that the one I use? Not sure which screen I use. It's broken. It's not working. Anyway. Here I am. Hello. I'm going to have to put a light on already, aren't I? It's getting dark. Oh, what's that wire? In there?
I don't know.
Oh, thanks, some shite. Ah, dear. Hopefully that's a little better. Good evening, everybody. Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. A little bit flustered now, a little bit stressed. Sorry about the delay. My sincere apologies. Someone's having a party out there, which is great. I need a drink of water. Really thirsty today. It's very warm in here. Currently 27.6 degrees Celsius and no breeze whatsoever. Don't even know I've got the window open. I suppose just let some of the heat out rather than fresh air in. It's rather warm. And tonight on the stream, as you've possibly guessed, we'll be taking a look at this bad boy. This is the new MSI Forge GK320, the kind of entry level to MSI's mechanical gaming keyboards, which actually comes in at seemingly a reasonable price at around about £30 here in the UK. Promises to offer a lot for not a lot. So we'll be taking a slightly in-depth look at this a little bit later on, taking out the switches, seeing what the switches are like, testing out the lighting, seeing what it does in MSI Center, etc, etc. And then potentially this might be something for that kind of back to school shopping list. If you are sort of contemplating in the back of your mind going back to college or going back to school after the summer break, which most people are on at the moment, maybe you're going to build a PC, maybe you're going to have a laptop. Still probably a good idea to have a keyboard and a mouse so that you can do your dissertations or your homework, or I don't know, chat for hours on end on Discord like some of us tend to do. So this might be a good option. Also, there is a local viewer who's reached out to the channel and actually requested that we build their PC for them. And I'm scared. I'm actually genuinely a little bit scared. And I've told them this already. So I've got a list of their components, which we'll go through a little bit later on. And you can probably then understand why I'm a little bit scared. Now, this PC is what I can tell to be the person's first PC after going from console gaming. And they have gone very, very much to town with lots and lots of very, very expensive components. So yes, I have questions. There are a few more questions. You'll probably have some questions and maybe some suggestions. And Brian, if you're watching, then feel free to stick your name in the chat and ask any questions. I'm not sure if you wanted me to discuss it on the stream, but whatever. There's not a lot to talk about these days, so, well, not at least not, which is interesting, not that hasn't been regurgitated a million times, so hopefully a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We all like a good build. It's not got a 5090. It's a 9070 XT. So it is basically an AMD build. But yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Lots of complicated lighting and yeah, just lots and lots of things which may or may not operate nicely together, which, bearing in mind I'll be doing the build, the software installation and setup, it does fill me with a little bit of dread, hence why I've already been asking some questions anyway, but I want to get your take on it as well, being as most of you in the chat are actually pretty au fait with PC building, and some of you have probably been down a similar rabbit hole before, so I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. So yes, all good stuff. Dutch Jan's bought a new chair, new office chair. Let's take a look at that. Welly Bob says, can't see for the text on the screen. Here we go. Get in there, Welly Bob. So good evening, all of you. Thank you all for joining us on this extremely warm British summer evening. For those of you outside of the UK, I'm probably guessing your weather is nicer than ours. It's really warm. It's great if you don't have to do anything. You can just enjoy it. And even then, it's still a little bit overpowering. But if you have to actually try and work and get things done, things get a little sticky very quickly, which is, yeah, unfortunate. And I would say over the last probably 6 weeks, probably actually longer, it's probably about 2 months now that we've had this kind of warm spell, broken up with like 1 or 2 days of rain. It's been like really uncomfortable trying to sleep at night. And I would say the last 3 or 4 nights I've slept on top of the bed because it's just the covers are just too much. So I keep on waking up all night because things attacking my feet or flies or spiders crawling inside my mouth and waking me up. They do that, you know. They drink your saliva while you sleep. So yeah, it's been really warm, and then it gets to a point around about probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning where it starts getting a bit chillier. So it's like that wakes me up. So then I go to the bathroom, go for a bathroom break, come back, and then get in the bed, and then actually start getting some decent sleep. So yeah, eye bags growing by the day. Hopefully we will get a little bit of respite from it. I guess it's one of those things, once you get used to it and you're climatized, it's really nice. But for us here in the UK, the average temperature is somewhere around about 15 degrees Celsius. So when it's about 30, even through the night in like the upper 20s, it's just not what we're used to. Like if you go away on holiday, it's great because you go away, you get pissed right up, you go back to your hotel room, turn on the air conditioning and just pass out. And it's great.
Have you ever stayed in a hotel?
We stayed in a hotel once.
Where?
When we went to Spain.
But it didn't have aircon.
I know, didn't have aircon. That sucked. Worst holiday ever. Anyway, I have been tempted recently actually to work through the night and sleep during the day. See if that helps, but I don't think it would. Because it's just this hot all the time regardless.
You what? Do what? Sorry?
Work during the night and sleep during the day. We did do that, didn't we, for ages during the COVID period. We'd get up at like 2 in the afternoon, then spend all day doing videos and messing around on Discord until about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I think I would still go to bed normal.
Rasher says, lower electricity bills and hardly any gas bills. I'll take this weather all year round, thank you. I would say, yeah, our electricity bills probably, well, I don't know if it will be less. Might be. Gas probably isn't much different because we're still like family of 4, taking showers. Obviously the central heating isn't on, but we don't really have the central heating on anyway. So we don't really benefit massively.
It's the standing charges more than what we use really, isn't it?
Greg says 15 degrees is spring weather here in Canada with 25°C ideal during the day. Lovely. Hello Phil Stodd, how are you doing? And Aletta says that's why I don't sleep. You don't sleep because you're a vampire. David Underhill, updated 5:20 AM. In Aussie, it's 9 degrees, but it feels like 6.8. Wow. Cool. Lots of you in the chat, which is always nice to see. Good to see you all. Cool Cat. Oh, nice. Good evening, Mike and Kath and stream. How you doing, Cool Cat? And hello, Skystalker. Glad you could make it. And Greg M. If you want winter, I'll send you some Canuck winters 5 months long with minus 40 at night. No, you can shove that right where the sun literally doesn't shine. I don't mind it getting down to like freezing. When it gets below freezing, yeah, things are a bit weird here in the UK. The UK doesn't deal with temperatures very well. Any fluctuations in weather, which is weird because we're an island, we should kind of be used to it by now. But, and also being that we are basically on the Gulf Stream, or jet stream, whichever you want to call it. Is it the Gulf Stream or jet stream? Are they both the same thing? Am you calling it the right thing? But basically it goes along through kind of like between us and France pretty much, or over us. And it only takes a little bit of deviation one way or the other to us to get either high pressure from the south or low pressure from the north. So our weather is extremely changeable, and being that we are literally on the kind of the Gulf Stream, jet stream goes right over us, you kind of never know what you're going to get. And that's why we have quite a big divide between the weather in the north of England and the south of England, because the south of England generally is always in that kind of southern part of the jet stream, whereas everything else is kind of in the northern side of it. Hey ho. So, yes, that's enough about the weather. We Brits do like to talk about the weather, don't we? It's about the only thing really which is kind of cool that you can talk about. We're always moaning as well. When it's too cold, we can't wait for the summer. When it's the summer, it's too hot and we can't wait for the winter or autumn. Sky says the jet stream is at 30,000 feet. Yeah, it is very high up, but it does basically divide the temperature zones between, well, where it passes through. Which is why when they say, oh, the jet stream's going to collapse, and that means that then either we get ice age or we get meltdown, one way or the other. Who knows? Paul Lamont says, and now for the tech news. Tech news, there's many things in tech news this week. Tech news this week, those of you that, like myself, and I'm sure some of you in the chat have got, are owners of Crucial branded RAM and or M.2 drives. And if you haven't been looking around at the tech news, you will know that your limited lifetime warranty that you got when you purchased your product is basically not worth the paper that it was printed on when you got the receipt out of the till, or the invoice, or the delivery. It would seem that now that Micron, the owner or parent company of Crucial, now that they've decided to give us consumers the elbow, if you have a warranty claim, you are essentially screwed. So they don't have RAM to replace, really. So if you've got a 64 gig kit of DDR5 RAM and one of the sticks goes bad, you're in a pretty bad place. Generally what they'll do is offer you a refund potentially of the original purchase price. So if you bought 64 gigs of DDR5 maybe a year ago and you got it for an absolute song, then yeah, you're going to struggle to replace that 64 gigs of RAM. So do be careful, do be mindful, and especially more so if you're buying used items, and especially if you head over to our Discord, links in the chat. Is that even going to work? No, why would it work?
Yeah, it did.
Did it?
Join our Discord.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was looking for it on the screen. It comes up on there, doesn't it? So, if you go into the bargain section, look at the eBay offers and do be a little bit mindful that anything from Crucial, although in the past, if you bought things like Corsair RAM, whatever, the warranty generally could pass on, or if you could get hold of the original person's purchase information, most of the time, most of the companies, especially RAM and M.2s or anything with a reasonable lifetime on it, they would swap it out because it's just a goodwill thing to do. But it's going to be a thing where Crucial aren't going to be able to do it anymore. So yeah, if you're less than a year, then obviously your warranty still is with the original retailer, possibly 2 years, depending if where you are and the local laws, etc. So they would have to take care of it for you, but realistically, they're probably only going to offer you a refund anyway. Unlikely they would offer you a replacement. So yeah, just be mindful. If you see an absolute bargain for some Crucial RAM or Crucial M.2, don't spend too much on it, because if it's used, potentially there's a slightly higher chance of it becoming faulty because it's already had a bit of a lifetime underneath its belt already. So yeah, do be mindful, be careful, don't spend too much on those things. Like secondhand stuff, you should never really pay too much for, because it's always a little bit tricky with warranties, but even more so now where you don't have a company behind it actually honouring the warranties. So do look out for that. Viali says, if Crucial ever came back to the consumer, they would have to come in at really low prices. The reality is they probably wouldn't. If Crucial came back to the market, the consumers in general would greet them with open arms. There'd be people like of our level who are kind of either flippers, builders, or kind of into tech, but we make up a really small portion of the retail market. Probably 80% of the retail market doesn't care less who it comes from. They just go to a shop and they buy whatever is a good value product or is actually available in stock. So I think for enthusiasts, yeah, there would be a little bit of a kickback. And certainly when it came to YouTube and content creators doing content for Crucial, that would be, yeah, I think that would be a difficult thing. But in terms of retail, I think it wouldn't be a problem at all. But let me know what you think. David Underhill says, must refund at market value. I don't think they have to in the US or the UK. Especially if the company doesn't exist. Dutch Jan says, question, is it actually legal to ignore a warranty? Well, the thing is with the warranty, they have options, and it's always in the small print if you read through it, that the warranty would cover either a replacement item or a refund of the purchase price, whichever is lower generally. There's always an option in the warranty that they will take whichever is the lower option. Now, obviously, when it came to previous year's warranties, as RAM generally decreased in price, like DDR4 started out expensive, got cheaper. There's highs and lows, but generally over time it got cheaper. So Crucial would always just give you another set of RAM because they've got stock. Like, why give you your money back? Because it makes no sense, especially if they've got stock, which obviously costs them a lot less to build or to produce than you paid for it. Generally, there's like 40 to 50% markup on most retail products. So if you've actually bought something from them, especially if you bought it directly, then basically kind of you've already paid for 2 kits anyway by buying one. So they're kind of edging their bets anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Dave Villender says, I use Kingston RAM. I was talking about Aussie-land. Yeah. Warranty rules in Aussie-land is tough on companies. Guys, go on.
Would it be cheaper for them to be sued? To pay out
Yeah, even if they
like a lot of
turn around and said about to all warranties, like, we're not going to pay out anything at all, it would actually be cheaper for them to go to court and get sued than it would to pay out all the warranties. It's just the way the legal system works. It's yeah, it's a numbers game. It's like the car recalls, isn't it? It's like, how many people are likely to die due to a car not having a recall versus how much it would cost to do the recall. And if it's a lesser cost, they would go whichever is the cheapest, because why not? Vianney says, lovely cold San Miguel. Good. Hey, David Thompson. Yeah. Paul Lamont says, I stopped using Crucial years ago, to be fair. I've never been really someone who kind of shuns a brand. Normally, it's just I shop around. I try and shop as smart as I can and get the most out of my money. So if it is a brand which maybe in the past has had some issues, I'll take a bit of a punt on it.
I can't be like that myself.
Kath's very set in her ways, and like,
not set in my ways.
If you cross her, that's it. You've had it. You're never getting back in. Which I think there's a lot of people out there like that. Once bitten, twice shy, and that's fine.
Well, trick me once.
Fool me twice.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but why would you keep falling for them again for an
Yeah.
They've treated you badly.
Dutch Jan says, I just received the second recall notice for my car. It's funny, that's what I was thinking about, because I actually had a letter from BMW saying that was it the airbag?
Oh, what, quite a while ago?
Oh, I got it on my desk now. Let me have a quick look.
When was it?
A few weeks ago.
You never do it for me. You had them for
Important safety vehicle recall. Yeah, replacing the driver's airbag, which almost every BMW I've had has had a recall for the airbag. Not surprisingly, because they all use the same airbag and they all basically rust. This is quite
They had
funny.
one for the passenger airbag, but they never replaced it, did they?
Yeah.
What, they replaced it?
They replaced the passenger airbag as well on our car that we've got at the moment, because that was known to be a fault, but the driver's one, I guess, is a bit different because it's actually inside the steering wheel. Anyway, whatever. Aletta says, me saying, Misa Nosa. My saying, I can forgive, but I never forget. Yeah, I'm like that. I'm generally quite forgiving. I'm waiting for Kath to reply to that one. I think I am. I'm quite pragmatic.
I think I'm quite forgiving. I just don't forget. So
Yeah.
why would I use a company when there's plenty of other companies I could use instead? That's all.
Yeah.
Like Nestle.
Michael Ellingham says, Corsair all day, every day for me. The thing is, Corsair, I would like to buy their RAM more, but the RGB RAM is such a pain to work with because of actually how few pieces of software can actually control the RAM. Now, maybe that's changed. Actually, let me know in the chat if you're a Corsair 8RGB RAM owner. Can you change the RAM colors in things like MSI Center or Gigabyte Control Center now? Or is it still you have to change it in IQ and then save it to the RAM and then uninstall IQ? Let me know. I'll be interested. Dutch Jan says, I got a second recall notice on my car. Something to do with the regen of the particulate filter.
Mark Dean's had his airbag replaced.
Ah, BMW E93 convertible. Very nice. Yeah, mine's an E91. It's yeah, same airbag, I guess. Nice car, E93 convertible. I keep on saying E39, which is obviously the old 5 Series. Or is it 7 Series? 5 Series. It's been a while. E39, 5 Series. Yeah, it must be 5 Series. O'Reilly says it would be IQ as far as I know. Dutch Jan says I don't have anything at all from Corsair. I was looking around earlier and I was trying to think of what brands I've actually got here. And all I've got from Corsair at the moment is a set of SP120 ARGB fans, which are like so old that they're still on DC control rather than PWM.
What's that case under the desk?
That's Leanne Lee.
Oh.
Sky says Corsair RAM can be changed in MSI Center, but only if IQ software is installed and only limited modes. Okay, fair enough. Is there like a toggle in IQ or MSI Center where you can enable or disable control for it? Okay. Also as well, I've got something which has been sent in to us for review, which I don't know if it's under embargo. And I've emailed them numerous times and I still am not sure. So I've got a very interesting, even arguably a slightly strange product to take a look at, but I don't know if I can. So do I or not? Realistically, we probably don't get enough viewers to actually make a difference and they probably never find out anyway. But I don't like to deliberately break an embargo if there isn't one, or the embargo isn't current. What I could do is actually take a look and see when the product is supposed to be out. Bear with me a second. I hate this keyboard. Do you know what? I actually genuinely hate this keyboard with such a passion. It's unbelievable. I gave my other keyboard away to Angel's boyfriend. Well, you know what it's like. Kids, you lend them something and you're never going to get it back, are you? Let's have a little release date. See if there is a release date. Right, it says well, I'm unsure because it says here the product was officially introduced in June 2026 with product manuals and initial documentation published on June 23rd, 2026. Full commercial rollout announcements for the series took place in early July 2026. We're now middle of August, so series launch news. Let's have a look. I really don't want to be put in the naughty chair. To be fair, this won't be a review. This will be just an unboxing and kind of some general thoughts about it. It wouldn't be anything other than that, which would be the same as what you'd see at somewhere like CX or something.
Can't forgive us for not letting him have Dave the cat.
Sorry. Tell us what it is, Mike. We'll tell you if it's under embargo. Well, it's the Thermaltake Dock Power FI 1000 watt. So you have a look, see what you think.
I got all four of them here. I got Maisie there, Flame, Otis, Dave, and Poppy on the bench outside.
I can't see them for sale anywhere, which normally means they're not available. Sky says be naughty, Mike. Naughty Boolish chair. Why? Because I covered it up? Oh. Sky says power supply. Yes, it is. I'll show you which one it is. You can see it on the screen. I'll switch over to the other stream desktop. Is that working? There we go. So that's what it is. The Dock Power F1 or FI. I don't understand what the FI is. What does FI? What's the relevance of FI? They miss out the R and the E because it's absolute fire. But it's quite an interesting power supply. Sinister Chef, how you doing? Says I made it. Funny thing is that the next keyboard and mouse combo I'm get. Oh, so funny thing, that is the next keyboard and mouse combo I'm gonna get. Don't do it. Get the MK270. The 220 sucks. It's just such a horrible keyboard to type on. It's worse than any laptop I've ever used.
Is he on about that MSI one?
No, don't think so. Oh, is he? There is a combo version of this, actually, if that is what you're talking about. I was referring to that being sucks. There is a version of this which is called the GM320, 320, I think, or the GM330. Basically, yeah, there is a combo version of that available as well. Viali says it's on Thermaltake website, so it's no secret. I know it's not a secret, but yeah, I don't know. Dave Aiken says, I'm having a hard time getting my yoga instructor I hired to leave my house. Every time I ask him to leave, he says, namaste. And namaste is a thing that people say, but it also could mean no, I must stay. Hello, Mr. Holzman. How are you doing? Cool Cat says, I need a keyboard rather than just keys. I don't know what master means. I'm a noob, can you tell? Oh, we're all noobs at something. Sinister Chef says, the one they showed at Computex. I'm not too sure what that was, sorry. Ordinary Dude, how you doing, Ordinary Dude? Good to see you. Okay, anyway, I think we've seen enough there. So let's take a look at this keyboard and see what it's all about. And I have actually got a cheat sheet. Gotta love a cheat sheet. It's basically the product information which I printed out earlier. in colour. No expense spared on the ink, although it's a bit crumpled because
I've got black and white use
cats.
anyway.
Yeah. So this is the Forge GK320 USB 2.0 LED backlights, mechanical switches, a keystroke life of 50 million presses. It comes in a US version, a UK version, and a Japanese version apparently. Full keys with anti-ghosting. Compatible with Windows 2000 XP, Windows 10, 11, macOS, etc., etc. Cable length 1.6 meters, one extra keycap and one extra keycap puller. Wonder what keycap it comes with, that's interesting. Product dimensions, don't need that, it's just a full-size keyboard, and it weighs in at 978 grams. So basically a kilo, which is actually quite heavy for a cheap keyboard. It has mechanical linear switches, linear profile, precise feel, hot swappable design, magnetic cover is included as well. And also there's a dedicated volume scroll wheel, hotkeys for rapid control. It also supports macro keys and RGB LED, which is going to be, for me, I think is going to be the actual downside of this keyboard. As much as it looks nice actually on the kind of thumbnails, etc., from what I can tell, from what I've seen, this has fixed RGB, which for me is not ideal, because like you might decide one day, I don't know, I'm going to change all my RGB lighting to purple or blue or red or green or orange or just another color. So having a static RGB isn't ideal. Now, some of you are going to probably be screaming in the chat and saying, well, Mike, you're a regular RGB dude. You have all of your RGB set to uniform puke. You'd be absolutely right. So for me personally, it probably would fit in fine, but I still feel that because it does what I'm wanting it to do anyway, I always kind of want it to do a little bit more, should I wish it to do more. But that, I guess, is part of the reason why they've been able to retail this for such a inexpensive price, being what appears to be quite a quality keyboard. And if you look around on the market for a kind of a inexpensive mechanical hot swappable keyboard, you generally are going to be paying about this or more.
Does it have a calculator button?
It doesn't appear to have a calculator button.
Very good.
So that was Kath's main qualm. Has it got a calculator button? I'm going to stick the other light on.
I don't know why, because I don't even use a calculator anymore.
We'll get a little bit more light on this because it is obviously a black coloured keyboard, so more light is helpful. And we'll take a look and see what it's all about. Is it fixed or is it zone? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Alan Joyce, how you doing, Alan Joyce? Alan Joyce, 1970. Were you born in 1970 by any chance? I love that. I do similar things myself, so I get it. Hi Mike, I watched your video the other night about the installer clean program. Downloaded, installed and run it. My folder was only marginally smaller compared with when you run yours. Yeah, these cleanup programs and utilities, applications, etc., they aren't always going to be the kind of the magic bullet to save your storage woes. It's going to depend what software you use, how good that software is at actually removing itself, or when it updates, how good it removes the older versions, etc. So as with all of these types of things, your mileage will always drastically vary. You may get results similar to me, you may get results considerably worse than me, you may get results considerably better than me. In fact, the video that went out on Friday, which actually a lot of you seem to have liked, a lot of you actually were in the kind of camp where you did save a considerable amount of storage space, like 2 gigs or more. I think 1 or 2 people actually said they got like 35, 40 gigs worth. So that's awesome. That's great. That is what the intention was, to help those people. I had people that said, oh, it only saved me like 3 or 4 megabytes. Like, obviously your system's doing a really good job already. So it's one of those things. It's like checking your oil. You don't really know how much oil you've got in your engine, or how much you've used, or how much is being burnt, until you use the dipstick. Now, in this instance, the dipstick is the software, so you just run the software to check to see what's going on. And you might find that, oh yeah, I've used no oil at all, excellent, I don't need to top up. On the other hand, you may have been burning oil like a mother, and you're basically running on empty and you need to top it up straight away. So that is basically how a lot of these software programs work. They're more of a tool to help you analyze information about your computer rather than actually like everyone's going to be different is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's have a look and see what we've got in the box. Let's go to the overhead camera. There we go. We can see that. Yeah, we can see me. Excellent. So what do we get? Well, there are surprisingly 3 additional switches included, a keycap puller, and also a switch puller. Not a particularly good one, but it'll do. Strange how one site identified as a threat on Virus Total. Some do because of the way that it analyzes the files, but as long as it's not loads of them. I think I did actually check it with Virus Total when I was doing it. And there's also a link on there to Virus Total, so you can actually see what they thought of it. But yeah, as long as it doesn't flag up loads. Even that, saying that, some programs still flag up loads of virus warnings, especially things like, what was it? There was an old version of WinHance years ago. They used to flag up stuff like crazy. These switches actually feel quite nice, and I cannot work out for the life of me who actually makes them. Because I'm pretty sure MSI don't physically manufacture their own switches, so I might have to get the magnifying glass on that and take a close look and see if I can see any obvious markings. So, oh no, it's MSI production. It's actually got MSI on the casing. So, well, I don't think MSI would be the OEM for it. They might be, but it certainly has their MSI logo embossed onto it. So, yeah. For those of you asking who is the OEM, I have no idea. MSI did go through a stage where they were making their own switches. And also it's a 3-pin switch. Sorry, 2-pin switch. Well, 2 physical contacts and a central locating pin. And quite a nice stem on it as well. The stem looks to be Cherry MX compatible, but also a little bit wider as well with the support around the outside. So that's pretty cool. What do we get actually inside the box? We get European Notice Regulatory thing, which is fantastic. That's what we always wanted. And it comes with a nice cover. Let's get that out of the way. Don't need that anymore. It was, I think my phone revert. Well, I don't think it's anything important. It's cool. So let's put that to one side for now. And let's take a look at the actual deck. It actually feels quite premium. I was surprised actually. I thought it was going to feel like a cheap mess. Mike, have you heard of a program called FX Sound Enhancer? Yes. We did a video on it not so long ago actually. But thank you, Alan. Yeah, well, I used it on my laptop because my laptop speakers are absolute rubbish. So anyway, this is the keyboard, and it's quite thocky. The keycaps are actually like really solid. Let's take a keycap off and see what they're actually like. So they are double shot keycaps by the looks of things. And they've got a slightly rough finish to them, so whether or not they're PBT, I couldn't tell you. They feel quite rough, but they don't seem to be absorbing much moisture, so they might be PBT. I guess they're probably going to be ABS, to be honest with you, but they don't feel shiny enough to be that. So they got a nice bit of, they got a really nice grippy texture. Actually, I do like these keys. That's a shame, because that means I might have to get one of these. Anyway, so it has got removable keycaps, as you can see, and also the switches are also removable. I hate taking switches out. Fluxor, they're generic 3-pin switches that most third-party switches will swap out with. I'm using the GK320, which is pretty much the same thing. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. This is the worst key cap puller in history, I think. I always wonder with these whether I'm doing it wrong, because I'm sure it's top and bottom you do. Cool, that was in there very well. So there we go, we've taken a switch out. You can see the PCB, the RGB is PCB mounted. And yeah, those are, I wouldn't say they're necessarily hot swappable, but they are swappable nonetheless. And they are north facing RGB. So in theory, you should be able to swap those out with pretty much most switches on the market. Because you've got all the holes there. So let's stick that back in. Try not to damage it. Just steal the keycaps, no need to change the keyboards. Yeah, actually I just noticed, I'm pretty sure that these stems are actually factory lubed. Because it feels a little bit greasy on my my fingers. Let's see if that one is as well. No, these ones, so the spare ones they give you don't appear to be lubed. But the ones actually in the deck do feel like they're lubricated. Yeah, it actually feels different. Yeah, that feels ever so slightly more scratchy. That feels much nicer. That's the first one. Probably can't hear much of a difference on there, but yeah, certainly I think that is pre-lubed from the factory. And that's gone back in quite nicely. Get the keycaps back on. There's a magnetic top deck as well. So you can remove that if you want to. That reveals actually a kind of a two-tone effect. So it's got a it's a plastic top deck, I believe. Let's see if it has any form of magnetism. Oh no, Jesus! It's a metal top deck as well. Unbelievable. So that is definitely magnetic. Obviously, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Because these are magnetic, so you'd expect it to be. Ooh, rotary dial for doing your volume up and down, and also muting. Do you know what? That actually feels nicer than the one on the Sonic. It's quite clicky. Jay Gordon says, I have the 310 and like it, only minus is static RGB. Yeah.
You'd have to turn the volume up to hear it over the bloody clicking.
That's quite nice, and it doesn't have much of a wobble to it either. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Switches and caps come off pretty easily. I am going to steal these switches, these caps. I'm going to stick on the ones from the Sonic or something when I send this back. Actually, that might even be, I'm going to tell you this, but don't do it because, well, yeah, why not? If you've already got an MSI keyboard, such as the GK320 Sonic with the see-through keycaps, if you don't like those and you want something a little bit nicer and a little bit more grippy as well, realistically, you could buy this for like £30, which is roughly the cost of a decent set of keycaps anyway. And then you could just take the keycaps off of here, stick them on your nice expensive keyboard. Or just buy it from Amazon, swap over the key switches, and then send it back to Amazon. I didn't tell you to do that, but you can do if you want to. So there you go. There is the plastic frame, which just goes over the top, like so. Actually, it does change the look of it quite a lot. So it goes from being kind of quite muted, really, to being somewhat a little bit more gamery with that silver back. I'm not sure which I prefer. I think for the RGB lighting, I think this is going to be better off.
Yeah, I thought it was like a load of pink spilled off that.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think I might have preferred actually a black background on this, but anyway. Let's plug it in and see what it's actually like. I'm a little bit hesitant to plug it in, so I don't know what the RGB lighting is going to be like. Where can I plug in? I need a USB extension lead. Where's my USB extension lead? That is a very good question. This has caught me off guard actually, because generally I tend to use a USB Type-C, And this is USB Type A, and it's a captive cable. Bear with me. I will see if I can find my USB Type A extension. It should be around somewhere. Famous last words. Word. I bet it's in my cable box. Greg says, I disabled the RGB on my keycard on the day I bought the keyboard. Philistine. How dare you? Gonna see if there's anything in my my cable box. I'm sure my USB extension is in here somewhere. There's a blast from the past, my old USB printer cable, which I have to get out every now and then when the Epson falls off the network. What is it with well, that's a good point. Yeah, Mac Mini Dock, that might be a good idea. I'll see if I can quickly find my USB extension. Yay! I found a USB extension. Yeah, I haven't used the iPad at all. I've used I have charged the iPad more times than I've used it.
You charged it
Twice. Buying an iPad was probably a mistake, to be fair. It'll come in handy one day, I'm sure of it, but
mine breaks.
yeah, when Kat breaks and she steals it. This is probably a bad idea, actually, isn't it? Let's plug something into a working streaming PC and see how we can break it. So let's plug it in, and it was a 50-50 and I've done it 3 times. So there we go. There is the illumination. It is very much stuck in that position, which is a little bit unfortunate. Weirdly, the RGB on the sides is actually doing a thing. So let's put the overhead camera on and we'll zoom in a little bit. You never know. It might even be slightly in focus. I don't think it is. Actually, is that in focus? I can't tell. Right, apparently. Is it not? Let me mess around with the focus a minute. Image, oh yeah, autofocus. And then turn that off. We're good. Okay, so you can use hotkeys to change the RGB lighting effects, apparently. So that would mean using the MSI key and then using one of these. And doesn't seem to do anything with that one. So, oh, that does a thing. So yeah, it is fixed RGB lighting. Can we make it brighter? No, that was the brightest. So it's actually a very, very dull lighting, like a dull carriageway. Let's take that frame off and see if that helps. Does that help at all? No, that's actually quite muted. I am a little bit disappointed, if I'm completely honest. It's kind of visible, but it's not outstanding. But ultimately, I guess the thing is with this, it's going to be the feel and also like the typing action, which the typing action, from what I can tell, is going to be absolutely fantastic. I do like the volume wheel, which does appear to work.
I think that would be irritating.
If I mute,
you're not the one using it.
Crank the volume up. That's all right. What else we got here? So, oh, it's got a co-pilot button. Nice.
Why?
I was being facetious. So what lighting styles have we got? What can we do? So perky lighting for that particular style anyway. And then kind of back to that. Oh, we got a bit of a dancing thing, like a rain. And then we've got a fade. Bit of randomization. That's actually not too bad. That's actually quite a nice effect. considering it is fixed RGB. Yeah, and every time you do something, it goes back. No, it doesn't. Non-reactive. Yeah, so it's not actually changing colors, but it almost kind of gives you the impression of it doing so. Oh, funky. Got a bit of a snake thing going on there. And then back to basics. I'm actually not sure which one of the presets I like. I think it's probably going to be yeah, actually, I don't know. I think I probably have it lit on all the time. The trouble is with keys like this, because they don't have a legend printed on them, unless they're illuminated, you can't really see where they are. If you're a touch typist, it's going to be fine. You're going to see it, whatever. So that is okie dokie. What have we got on the back here? So we've got single stage rising or raising. That's not a bad angle. It does actually feel like a very premium construction. I'm just not entirely keen on the old static RGB. But I guess it is what it is. Greg says I can usually touch type anyways, so having a lit keyboard is not much use to me. That's fair enough. David Under says I want Claude and Gemini buttons. Oh dear. Dutch Jan says, what's everyone's obsession with mechanical keyboards? I hate those things. If I were to buy one, it would lead to divorce. Oh, dear.
It's so annoying. I don't see the attraction in them personally.
Sky says, fixed colour, but individually lighted per key is a strange choice. Yeah. Right. So there you go. That is the MSI Forge GK320. I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this keyboard. There are a lot of elements I do like. The keys feel absolutely lovely. The key switches, that's great to be able to swap out a key switch, especially like if you think about the price of this. If you're buying this for like a younger person who has the potential to be playing games whilst eating crisps and drinks and basically living at their desk like teenagers often tend to, and to be honest with you, some of us adults as well, we've all done it, haven't we? We've all dropped something on a keyboard, especially probably an expensive one, and you found that one of the keys no longer works properly. Think of the people that bought the original Corsair K70. That was like one of those keyboards which came out, people spent like 150 quid on them, but they were fixed switches. So if you damaged anything or a key stopped working, you either had to be really handy with the soldering iron or time for a new keyboard. So I kind of like where this is going. So you've got the option to change the keycaps if you want to. You can change the key switches out if you want to. Also, the metal deck is really nice. And actually, has it got much flex? Christ. No, hardly any flex. It's very rigid. What she said. I like the fact that the actual volume jog wheel is actually illuminated white and stays white. That's really good. I think it would have been nice if you pressed it and it went red, just to know that you're muted or the sound is muted, but that's a very minor quibble. But I think the overall layout and the maybe the font on the keycaps could have been done being a little bit larger, possibly. But I think that's quite a common thing on a lot of keyboards these days. I guess because obviously the RGB lighting is north facing, to get the best light out of the actual legend, it needs to be towards the top more so, the top half at least. So yeah, I guess for most people it's fine. In terms of hotkeys at the top, you've got hotkeys for opening sound programs, volume up and down, and also mute, which are like F2, F3, F4. That's the same on every keyboard anyway, really, pretty much. F5 is stop, F6 is rewind, F7 is play pause, F8 is fast forward, F9 is email, really isn't. F10 is, not even sure what that is. F10, what the flipping heck's that? I have no idea what that picture is. Oh, it might be the home button. Okay. F11 is Windows Explorer, possibly. No, that doesn't work. Oh, of course, you've got to press it with the function key, haven't you? Oh. Yes, that has opened a browser. So that is what it's supposed to do. Good, eh? So those work. I suppose, yeah, if you have to toggle it between F5 and F10, etc., don't you? And F12 is the calculator button. So you can get a calculator up on here. That's pretty good. And the print screen button doubles up as something else, which I can't even see what it is, like a reset or something. Let's try it, see what happens. Nothing changed. Okay, we're safe. Yeah. Oh, I just noticed actually that was not pulsing previously, was it? We muted? No, we're not. What is that doing? Who knows? Let's try that again. Ah, I get it. The jog wheel. That changes what the jog wheel does. Now I understand. So yeah, either light on, pulsing, or light off. So if you don't like that light on, you can turn it off. So that's, yeah, that's nice that you can actually change that, I guess. I'm not too sure about the LEDs for numlock, caps lock, etc. being that kind of really kind of retro 2000s era blue, when that was basically the only LED colors they could do. Maybe red if you're lucky, maybe a bit of green. But yeah, I think those would have been nicer white to match in with the jog wheel, which is actually super bright. Yeah, again, that's being slightly picky. I think for like the price it is, for what it is, you can't really go too far wrong. It's a decent quality keyboard. I guess ultimately, if you want more RGB functionality, then realistically, you just got to pay more money, as is the kind of mantra for most things these days. Logan says the dial seems a bit big. It is a little bit oversized, but I actually quite like that because it's nice to have something a bit bigger in my hand. Oh dear. Anyway, moving on. So there you go. Any questions about it? Anything you would like to know? Let me know in the comments. Before I unplug it, actually. I will close that window a minute, see what's going on. What was the price of the keyboard? The keyboard is somewhere between £30 and £35. There should be some links that Kath's put in the video description. So please feel free to utilize those. If you want to pick one up, you're more than welcome to. And I should say as well, out of full disclosure, this was sent to us free of charge for review purposes from MSI and is on loan and will be returned as soon as we are finished with it. So there's no payment of any sort or kind. They have just loaned us this keyboard to do a video. And being that it's a 35 quid keyboard, I'm not likely to be trying to persuade people to buy it unnecessarily for that sort of money. Ultimately, I think personally, I probably wouldn't buy it for myself, but I would buy it to go with a PC. For me personally, I would prefer to have the more customizable lighting. However, with that said, if it came down to the point of being a rather horrible action keyboard with soldered switches and possibly worse keys and font, then I would sacrifice RGB lighting in terms of comfort and use. Because ultimately a keyboard is a thing that you use all the time. It's your probably main point of access to your computer. You will be caressing and touching this keyboard for hours and hours on end and smashing keys when you're playing games. Between your keyboard and mouse, that is your interface with the PC. So you might as well like it. Which is why a lot of us spend more money on keyboards and mice, because it's just the thing. Anyway, Alexa says on US Amazon is $70. I would say that's not the right price. That sounds way overpriced. I'm pretty sure the US MSRP for this, excuse me, is $40. Maybe not. The $70 one might be the combo keyboards and mouse setup, which sounds right, closer. Rasher says, my keyboard is fairly expensive. Tonight I had the idea of putting cling film over it because it's my only night I have a few drinks and I fear spilling drink on it. Good for you. Get a cling film on it. David Under says, back in the prehistoric days, some software came with cardboard overlays that showed various key functions. Yeah, I remember going to work in the early 90s and going to like a proper business, and they all had like those IBM proper big keyboards, the IBM Model M or something, like proper clacky old school keyboard, and they had like a cardboard inset underneath the key so you could do their like banking software programs. Very, very cool. Greg says in Canada it's 109 Canadian dollars. That seems really expensive. Is it definitely the GK320, not the combo? In the UK it's like 35 quid. David Under says, cheap and nasty, my HyperX was $159. Sky says, exactly, perfect for a flip system. Oh yeah, definitely. Letter says, correction, I was looking at the GK600. The GK320 is $50. So that's, yeah, that's closer. Still a little bit more than I would like it to be priced-wise, really. Greg M says, sorry, that was the combo. I know, don't feel bad. I get it completely. MSI's naming structure is absolute ass. Like, there's the GM320, there's the GK320, and there's the GM320 combo. So it's like always going to be a problem trying to actually find the specific thing. I get it. I get it all the time for MSI stuff. Kath's apologising because she put the links in. Don't worry, it's fine. It happens. Sometimes in some countries they don't sell it at the moment as the individual model. They just do like the combo kit or whatever. So it's totally understandable. But yeah, ultimately I actually quite like it. I don't know whether I would use it long term. I'm actually thinking the keycaps look and feel very similar to that of the Asus Strike, which I'm just going to grab. In terms of the form factor, it's basically identical. I would say, yeah, there's a slightly more hollow sound to the MSI. So definitely the MSI is noisier. Stabilizers are good though. But it's got a very this has been used for about a year, so it has kind of bedded in a little bit. Certainly the MSI is noisier. Feels I would say the MSI stabilizers actually feel nicer than the Asus ones, especially for things like the spacebar and the shift key. It feels very precise, whereas the Asus has got a little bit kind of tired. So you press on one side of the key and it doesn't move necessarily straight away. Whereas the MSI, it's got a very tight feel to it. Not tight as in like difficult to press, but tight as in you press it and it's like it's uniform across both sides of the stabilizer, which is quite nice. A bit too noisy though for my liking, but anyway. And it would drive Kath absolutely bananas. She don't like this one. This one's quieter. But considering the 8 have you? Considering the that Asus keyboard, was it the Strike? I can't remember what it's called. Is it the Strike? Yeah, Strike. The Strike 2 MX or whatever it is anyway, was like 120 quid. This is 35 quid. So the fact that you can actually talk about them both in the same kind of sentence is actually quite impressive, I think, personally. But let me know what you think. Stewie from Norfolk says, hi fella, just tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Nice to have someone join us and also asking questions as well. So what is the knob do? Have I got to now put some knob jokes in? I don't really know any knob jokes. Kath would probably disagree. The jog dial is for volume up and down, and also you can press it in the middle for muting the volume. Thank you very much, Rasher, for your 20 euros. Much appreciated, sir. Let's give you a little heart there and a like. And also for those of you in the chat, stick a like on Rasher's super chat, because he's a kind individual. And he's probably doing that before he gets too pissed. And then he starts like losing the will.
The cling film on his keyboard.
Yeah, he's putting his cling film on his keyboard. That brings up so many connotations of different things that you'd be doing in front of your computer to have to put cling film on your your keyboard. Oh dear, the mind boggles. It really does. Anyway, there we go. And yeah, thanks, Stewie, for joining us. Much appreciated. Good times. I would say it's cooling down a bit, but it's not cooling down quick enough. It's still 26.4 degrees here at the moment.
Where are you finding that out?
I got my little.
Oh, on the desk.
I got me doofer.
What's all the wires hanging out of it?
That's so you can have the external temperature. So you got internal and external. I'll put it there so people keep an eye on the temperature. It is sweltering. Let's put the keycap puller is shit. Sorry, the switch puller is shit. It's too flexible. Keycap puller, not too bad. Does it work on nose hairs? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Does a little bit. That's pretty good. I might keep it for a nose hair plucker. Oh, yeah. Whoever's got to review this next, apologies. I will disinfect. And there is... Oh. That's what happens now. As soon as we get a super chat, it breaks the chat for me. Thank you, Viali, for sending 1 Mics Unboxing Reviews and How To gift memberships. Much appreciated. And that went to Joel Curto Estrada, 1360. Thank you very much, Viali. Model Citizen says, loses metal inside expensive OLED monitors. That is exactly true. I have definitely done that. For those who don't know, I did get sent from MSI a very, very nice 27-inch 1440p dual mode OLED. And I was starting to do the review, and I was using the new MSI monitor mount, and I was taking it off, and I literally had it flat on the desk. So I thought, flat on the desk, I can't harm it. I even had like protective shit down underneath it, so it didn't get damaged. And as I moved, the monitor arm is quite heavy, so as I was trying to maneuver it away from the screen and being very careful with it, I moved it upwards slightly, and the 4 washers that were on top of the screws, because I'd already taken the screws out, one of the washers slipped down inside of the lug, you know, where the lug goes, So on a monitor arm or a vessel mount, you've got two lugs at the top normally, which kind of slot in and then like swing down before you put the screws in. And the washer, I saw it in slow motion, just going down off the monitor arm, slowly going into the plastic, bouncing around the edges of the mount, and then fall straight into the back of the monitor. It's like, oh, for flip's sake! And
What you said.
immediately I got one of my, I got a magnet thing. I think actually, I'm trying to think who sent me that. I think it might have been William Bodie sent me it ages ago. It's like a torch with a magnet on the end. And I tried to get it in there, but it wasn't narrow enough. And I was looking around for something else. And it just, yeah, it wasn't coming out of there. And it's one of those monitors where it's been made with such a small bezel. There was no obvious way of taking the back of the monitor off, like the plastic cover. So I just emailed MSI and said, look, I'm really sorry. I've got to the part of the review and like there's basically a piece of metal floating around inside the back of the monitor. I don't want to turn it back on because if I turn it on and it goes bang, A is going to scare me, B is going to scare Kath or she's going to laugh, and C, I will have destroyed like a 500 quid monitor, which I don't really want to do. So they said, no worries, send it back, Mike. We'll get one of our technicians to sort it out. They did actually say, do you want us to send you another one? And I thought, at that point, I think there was something which just felt like I was being jinxed by it. So I politely declined. Although, I am slightly glad that I did, because actually looking at the screen on it, it's got a really reflective, glossy screen. And I know for clarity purposes, having a glossy front panel on your monitor is like the best thing to have. But I actually really like anti-glare coatings, especially because of in this room where we work. We've got sunlight coming in from the window, which is just across from the room there. Also, we've got lots of studio lights as well. So if there's any lights on, like you move the monitor around, it just reflects all the studio lights. It's basically like a mirror. So I do prefer to have an anti-glare coating on there if at all possible. So they have actually just announced another one with a anti-glare coating on, so I might try and get that one in and take a look at, because I'm actually really interested in getting an OLED monitor. I know they're really expensive and they're very kind of like almost like an elitist thing to do, but for color accuracy and for like anti-smearing and stuff, I've never actually experienced it, so I would like to see what it's like. Sorry, Cap, what did you say just now? Wind smear. That's the idea.
Alan Joyce.
Alan Joyce, Mike, which desktop speakers would you recommend for overall volume? As I tend to find many sets are simply not loud enough. There's an unusual thing with, actually, I just noticed Mark Gaines there said, Mike, you've got mail. I just noticed that before I read that. So I'll quickly check the mail and see what he says. Holy fuck. Sorry. Mark Gaines, extremely generous. Thank you so much. Mark's just sent us £80 via PayPal. Wow. That is incredible.
Support for the channel in lieu of super chat.
He says a little support for the channel in lieu of a super chat. That's not a little bit, that's a lot. Did you miskey it? Was it supposed to be like, what's next to the... No, it's a 9. No, it wouldn't have been. 5, yeah. If you keyed it in wrong, let us know. We'll send it back to you. Thank you so much. Genuinely, like, that is massive. At the moment, the way things are with YouTube, that's like 2 days' wages. I know. That's how bad things are getting with YouTube. That's better to pay both of us as well. So yeah, things are getting rather tough. But we still keep smiling. We still keep on making videos because that's what we like to do. Hopefully we'll start selling PCs soon as well, so we can actually make some money. That'd be great. Anyway, thank you so much, Mark. That is very, very kind of you. Stewie says, where's the kitty cat? Well, Flame's on Kath's desk and is Maisie covering up. It's quite funny. Our computer desks are 80 centimeters wide with like a pull-out tray for the keyboard and mouse. So Kath's got our full-size keyboard and our mouse and a mouse pad. But also on top of that, there's also a large male cat and his mother, both perched next to each other on the said 80 centimeter wide desk. She's got about 10 centimeters to move her mouse and no access to the keyboard. dear. Mark Gaines, you are a mub legend. Thank you so much. Going back to the previous question. Sorry, Alan. Was it Alan? Yes, Alan Joyce. Mike, which desktop speakers would you recommend for overall volume? As I tend to find many sets are simply not loud enough. Now, there is actually, especially in modern times, there is actually a EU regulation that speakers cannot be over a certain decibel level, which I know is absolutely stupid. So when it comes to desktop PC speakers, most of the modern ones will be somewhat limited to what they're legally allowed to sell them at, which, yeah, I know, just absolutely barking mad. For me personally, in terms of sound quality and also having a bit of punch to them as well, if you don't need a subwoofer, the Creative Soundworks, I think it's Soundworks, let me see if I can find them. They are excellent speakers and they've got plenty of punch to them. Creative, actually let's go to the Creative Labs site because they've always got sales on. Creative Labs, there we go. Actually, I'll put it onto the... This site does not support a secure connection. Are you kidding me?
I get that a lot of sites now.
How can Creative Labs not have a secure site? Huh, another link works. Good old Google. Right, let's go to Stream Desktop. So there is... Oh, those look nice. So products, and we want speakers and desktop. So if they still do them, yeah, the GigWorks. So the GigWorks, either the T20s, Series 2, those got a really nice sound to them. They're actually quite loud as well. They're actually quite small comparatively. So those are really good. The T60s are like a newer, louder version of those. There used to be a T40 as well, I think, but I don't think they are still sold. So you might need to look on either Amazon or possibly onto eBay, that kind of thing. Those actually look quite interesting. Not sure how loud they would be, but yeah, the GigWorks models, if you can find any GigWorks models, try those. And you can also get them on places like CEX. So if you go to like CEX, look just for GigWorks, do a search, just see what comes up. All of them are really good, very powerful and very clean sound. Some speakers get loud, but they distort, or the bass makes them sound a bit like farty. But the GigWorks, I found the T10s and the T20s, I had a set of T20s up until quite recently. I gave those away. The T10s I've still got, and yeah, even the T10s do crank out some serious volume. They're not very bassy. They're quite muted for the bass, the T10s. They're more designed for kind of PC speakers rather than music or anything. Very good for audio. Clarity and audio is excellent on them. So I would certainly take a look at those. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And sure, if there's anyone else, Logitech do what was the ones I reviewed that Dave had? The Logitech is one of the X range, like their THX range. They're really good.
Dave's in the chat, isn't it?
Oh, Dave's in the chat. He can answer that.
I don't know.
Thanks, Game Mark. Viali says it's 25C in my living room. It feels a lot warmer. It's actually, it feels, the temperature is dropping now quite well. Oh, it's 27 now. Feels cooler. There seems to be a bit of a breeze coming in. Just kind of like, well, not a breeze, but there is something moving, which is cool. Where else do we get to? Let's have a look, see what people are asking. Model Citizen says, my old Logitechs are loudest for desktop speakers, but have a subwoofer that resonates like a nightclub. Yeah, those are the ones. If you like the bass, those are really good. And also, actually saying that, the Creative Labs, what has George got? Let me see if I can find the ones he's got. It's actually a sound bar, but that thing pumps out some bloody noise.
He needs an earphone jack.
Oh, it's got an earphone jack on it.
Phone socket, sorry.
I think it's the Stage, Creative Stage 360, is it? Creative Stage, oh, out of stock. Yeah, I think it's the Creative, oh, that's out of stock as well. Stage Pro. Oh, that's the ones he's got. Actually, has that got the screen on it? Some have got a screen on, some haven't. George's one's got a screen on it, and it's very loud. Stage 360, maybe. Yes, that's the one. My phone's going mad again.
Mail.
Oh, 2 texts. Wow. Here we go. Oh, I've got the email now. Wow, Jan Dammer, you lovely man. Thank you so much. That is very, very kind of you. 50 euros. And, oh, bless. Note from Jan Dammer. It says, a portion of my bonus. Thank you. That is so kind.
Thank you.
That is very, very kind of you. Very generous. Thank you so much. I do kind of get a little bit emotional sometimes when you lot start donating money, because it's so kind. And like, we're not in a position, we got basically, obviously with YouTube the way it is at the moment, if things aren't always particularly rosy, but we're getting by, we're doing it. We're not like, we can keep the lights on just about, but the fact that you lot help out is just, it's awesome. Very, very kind. Thank you. Model Citizen says the Z323 Logitechs. That was the ones. Yeah, they're really good. Let's go back to the stream desktop. So these ones here, the Creative Stage 360. I'm pretty sure this is what George has got in his bedroom. And there is actually saying that. No, his has got a microphone jack on it somewhere. Was it on the side maybe? But yeah, it's Dolby compatible and all that kind of stuff. And I like it on the front. It's got a little thing that tells you what it's plugged into.
Hello.
Pretty sure it's that one, but that's 140 quid.
You've got to come and say hello.
The cheaper version soundbar is
Oh, you've got the wrong
that
camera
one.
on
That
now.
one there. That's
It
very
is.
similar, but that's quite loud as well. But I don't think that's the same one because there's supposed to be an LCD display. So there is one that's got an LCD display in the middle. But I can't quite see it.
Other camera.
It's not that one and not that one. Who's that? Otis. Hello. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, OT. What's up?
They want to see you.
Can they see him? Yeah, I think they can.
Yeah, they can.
There he is. There's Otis. Bless his heart. You alright, mate? What's going on? You alright? What are we doing? You're looking for your box, aren't you? Do you want to go to bed? Bless him.
There's some food.
Gamer Zone says, I have the Creative Pebble V3. The Pebbles are actually really good, but they do lack the power because they are USB powered. So, yeah, you don't quite get the oomph from them. You really want something which is like mains powered.
It says on the screen in there, the memory card is write protected. Does that mean anything?
Oh, yeah. You can take it out if you want.
Or does it matter?
No.
I don't care.
Alan Joyce says, I'm getting that message too. Yeah, I tried the link on the other side. When I went to the Creative Labs, rather than go to the first link, I went to the one which is on the side. So if you look there, stream desktop. So if you click on that link there, that seemed to work, but that one it didn't seem to like for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. The world's a funny old place. Oh, Alan says, thanks, I'm going to check them online. Cool. I think from the sound of things, I can hear the fans ramping up in the background, which means usually one thing, that the stream is about to crash. Why is dock power still not? I don't know. Whatever. What are things to do with that being at the very end? Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud here. Right, Cambridge Soundworks, yeah, those are really good. Cambridge Audio. Stu says, hey Otis, where's Dave? Dave, I think.
Here.
Dave is about.
David,
Kath's going to grab him.
come and have some food.
Mark Gaines says, my PC is connected to my Atmos Onkyo system. Nice. I once had an Onkyo system. Well, I didn't have it. It was the BBC's. They bought it as a prop or something. And they didn't really quite understand what it was, I don't think. It was like a really nice receiver. And I really, 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 really wanted to take it home with me, but that would be theft. So I didn't. But I did wish. I was just going to say to one of the supervisors or managers, can I buy that from you? Because there used to be a thing at the BBC. This is a weird thing, actually. This used to genuinely happen. If the BBC bought in props for episodes, for series, etc., there was like a sort of unwritten rule that if somebody, after the production had finished, if they wanted to buy the prop, they could buy it at 50% of its value. Which, if you think about what that could be, that's a lot of discount. One of the first things
Were buyers allowed to buy it themselves as well?
I'm not sure, possibly. You had to fill out a form and all that, but it was cool.
How do you know they didn't buy it?
But there was an episode where Charlie Fairhead's son started dealing drugs, or was it his son, or it must have been his son, yeah. Started dealing drugs. Lewis, that was it. Well done. And he actually had his money in a shoebox under the bed, and he had some like fancy Nike Air 180s, and they were like quite expensive shoes. I'm sure they were like 100, 150 quid. So at the end of the episode, they said, right, we're done with those now. I said, oh, I really like those trainers. Like, could I buy them? Because I need a new set of trainers. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. We'll sort it out for you when the episodes, when we finish filming. And the buyer come over and he's like, all right, got those shoes for you now if you want them. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, thank you. He's like, oh, that'd be 25 quid. I'm looking around like, where's Jeremy Beadle? Is he going to jump out on me and say, yeah, gotcha? And he wasn't there. So yeah, I paid £25 for a pair of really, really nice Nike Air 180s. They were like a dark blue fading into white and silver at the front. They were amazing. Like, this is the early 2007, 2008 sort of era, maybe 2009. Yeah, they were really, really nice trainers. And actually, loads of people who say to me, oh, I like your trainers, they're very nice. And I don't think I've ever, in my entire life previously, had anybody ever come up to me and say, I like your trainers. Unless I was being robbed. That doesn't happen. But yeah, it was weird. Anyway, so yeah, 25 quid for a set of amazing trainers. That was good. Anyway, Model Citizen says, Mike's Unboxing, could you connect onboard Mobo audio to a high-end amp, etc.? Or do you need a dedicated sound card to utilize the potential? No, not really. Like, obviously, it comes down to the individual ear and what you make of sound. Like, some people are really fussy about sound and they go to like extreme lengths to make their sound as good as possible. Realistically, yeah, you could take the either the line level from your sound card, onboard sound card, straight into an amplifier, and it would be fine. Lots of people have done it over the years, even into like a hi-fi's aux plug. I've done that myself, and it sounds fine. It sounds considerably better than like speakers.
Okay, mates.
Sorry about that story. As Mark Gaines said about his Onkyo system, it just brought back that memory for some reason. Very strange.
What are you doing?
Aletta's using her massive speakers. Big floor sounding speakers. And oh, that's Rasher, sorry. 7.1 setup. Pioneer flagship. AV. Nice.
Windowsill, wait a minute.
Dave looks comfy. He does. I want to get that power supply and have a look at it, but Dave looks so comfy there. I don't know if I should. You all right there, mate? Davey? Dave. Davey. Hey, Dave. Not interested at all.
Dave's bedtime.
He is getting settled now, isn't he?
Well, he goes to bed with me now, doesn't he?
Bless him. Bless his heart. Okay, right. What should we do next based on this? Oh, and that's what I was going to do. Let's look at the parts list that I got sent from a viewer because they wanted to build a PC. So I'm going to put this on the screen. I'm guessing for some people it might be a little bit on the small side, but I will be reading through it, so don't be too concerned if you're not right up in your right up in a big screen. Is speed diff a waste? No, not really. SpeedIF's fine. It's a better, more efficient way of getting sound through. And it's nice for some people like using SpeedIF because it's just a single optical cable. For simplicity's sake, for some people, yeah, that's fine. Again, it depends on the setup. If you want to use like HDMI, eARC and stuff like that, and have loads of different sources coming through, it's very different. You can do lots of things. John says, I'm very particular about audio because of my job in AV, so I have to get the best audio I can out of every device. That's definitely fair enough. Dave wants to see the power supply too. He does. Right, let's head over and have a look at this PC spec. And hopefully you can see that on the screen there. I've got the text on the side, so I do apologise for that, but you've probably got it multiples now. But anyway, this is all in line. So, hi Mike, thank you for getting back in touch. I have got from my build, the GPU is a Gigabyte Elite RX 9070 XT. The CPU is a Ryzen 7 9800X3D. The motherboard is a Gigabyte Aorus X870E Elite, so definitely a little bit of a Gigabyte thing going on here. Then we've got Corsair Vengeance DDR5 CL30 6000 32 gig kit in black. Then also we've got the Corsair Vengeance DDR5 Lite enhancement kit to go with that, so obviously to show off all 4 sticks of RGB goodness. Then you've got the storage, so Kingston Fury Gen 5 2TB, that's fine. Samsung 980 Pro Gen 4 2TB as a secondary drive for additional storage, again absolutely fine. Then we've got the power supply, which is the Lian Li Edge 1000 watt in gold rated in black. All of this is black, by the way. Lian Li Evo RGB case in black. Lian Li OLED 360 AIO. The TL Flex in black. So that kind of worries me a little bit, but I'll talk about that shortly. Got the Lian Li TL Flex, 3 of them in reverse with LCD. You've also got 3 flex reverse blade in black and also 1 normal in black. So obviously you've got 3 reverse at the bottom, 3 reverse on the side, and then you've got 1 on the back for the exhaust. You've also got the Lian Li 8.8-inch LCD screen in black to go into the case. Also PSU cable extension kit in black and grey from Colink. Then Thermal Grizzly AM5 contact frame and some Thermal Grizzly Duranolt. There is also, should I get a thermal sheet or Arctic MX7? So I've replied to that anyway. So that is the kind of the basic gist of the build. So clearly that is a pretty extreme build. This is for somebody who, from what I can tell from the emails we've had and discussions, is someone who's, this is their first PC. They don't really know how to install software, and they're coming from a console. So whether or not they've got much knowledge of how Windows works and its kind of quirks, etc., not entirely sure. So my concerns. There are multiple RGB ecosystems here which potentially might not work very well together. So I'm pretty sure the motherboard has got RGB on it, the Aorus X870E Elite. The graphics card I'm pretty sure has got RGB on it as well. And also the Corsair Vengeance obviously has got lighting on it because it's the RGB kit, and also the light enhancement kit. So with that in mind, we've also got a lot of Lian Li kit. Lian Li LCD fans with the screens on them. We've also got the 360mm AIO, the TL Flex with the OLED screen on it. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. And my concerns are getting all of that to work consistently with each other. When it's in the Lian Li ecosystem, that stuff is going to be fine. But there's always been a little bit of an issue with Corsair and Lian Li software at the same time on the same PC. So that means either programming the Corsair RAM, then removing the IQ software. I don't think Lian Li can directly talk to Corsair via their software or even via the new Open RGB integration. I would have to try it. And also the graphics card RGB is likely to be controlled from the Gigabyte control center and the lighting system in there. So it's got the potential to be quite a mess. That was my first kind of impressions. Generally, if I'm building a system or someone asks me for a system, I try to keep things relatively simple. So ideally, like having all the RGB in one ecosystem, which is the ideal solution. Now, of course, with the Lian Li stuff, because of using the LCD screens, that isn't going to be possible. Now, you can run the Lian Li software as a service in the background, but it doesn't always play nice with other softwares. Hence why they've gone to the recent extra thing. So if you didn't notice, actually, the older LCD Flex models and the Flex fans in general, Lian Li are giving away the RGB upgrade wire and connections free of charge to anyone who's bought the original versions. And I think it's because the Lian Li RGB just doesn't play nice with other brands at all. So they've given you the option to plug in the RGB directly into your motherboard or a hub or something to control it that way. But that also means at the same time that you lose the ability to do some of those nice themes that are baked into the Lian Li software. So it is very tricky because, you know, it's like we've all seen it. I had a discussion about this yesterday with someone from Signal RGB. I'm not going to say their name, but somebody from Signal RGB reached out after our Signal RGB video this week and was asking if we would be interested in doing some other coverage based specifically around doing a piece to explain why Signal RGB doesn't actually work with everything. And it's kind of, that runs parallel to what I was thinking with this system. A lot of the problem, believe it or not, is actually Lian Li. They're not really willing to work with other companies to try and integrate their system with other systems. And it makes complete sense. If you're Lian Li, you are essentially the market leader in terms of fans. Arguably, Corsair is probably a runner-up, but in terms of sales by volume and turnover, Lian Li fans are basically wiping the floor with the rest of the industry. They are by far the market leader, which is why everyone tries to copy them. So they've got their ecosystem. Why would they want to open up their ecosystem to other brands so you can mix and match when you could buy Lian Li stuff? Now, obviously, Lian Li don't make some things, such as they don't make a mouse, they don't make a keyboard, they don't make a motherboard, they don't make RAM. So the other things that you'd want to have in the ecosystem just don't exist. So it is definitely a problem. So I honestly don't know what to do, what to suggest. I don't want to say to the person, yeah, that's fine, we can do all that. Like, literally, they've ordered the parts, I think, mostly anyway. Some of it's on back order, waiting for it to arrive. Specifically, I think the Lian Li fans might be on back order, probably waiting for the Flex upgrade. So I'm not too sure, but yeah, it scares me on multiple levels because I don't want to say to someone, yes, I can do it, and then we start installing all the software and we can't get it to play nicely with each other. Especially, like, I believe a lot of this stuff is going to be coming from overclockers, and I can't see overclockers taking like a motherboard or graphics card back or RAM back because it doesn't work nicely with the RGB. I don't see that happening. They just want to sell stuff. They're not interested in that. It's not their problem. Should have been researched. And again, even something like Signal RGB, you could put Signal RGB on there and there's a reasonably strong chance that most of it would work. But the Lian Li stuff, the Lian Li controllers that they use work on a slightly different method than everybody else's on the market. And that is kind of how they manage to do those effects. But then that doesn't translate well outside of it because it kind of gets laggy because it can't process that kind of custom information quick enough. And Lian Li won't give external companies access to that like the API or whatever it needs. So you won't find on a piece of software that it's going to synchronize it all up, especially if you want a nice kind of color scheme. If you just want like static white or rainbow puke, that's going to be reasonably easy to do. But it's a lot of money. Like, I wouldn't even like to guess how much that system is. I'm at a ballpark figure. I've got to say it's like 2.5, 3 grand's worth, just from the RAM and the storage, the graphics card, the Lian Li stuff. Like even the AIO on its own is like 300 plus. So there's a lot of money in there. The motherboard is getting about another 300 plus. The CPU is about 400. There's a lot of money tied up in that. So yeah, Model Citizen says, true, no chance they would refund for RGB. No, I don't think there would be. Gentleman Bad Boy says plain black RAM instead and keep the rest. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm assuming. I haven't asked the question, so this is something I probably will ask. Obviously, going with the light enhancement kit, there must be a reason. Steady on, Maisie. Having the extra light kit, they must like the look of RGB RAM. So I think having just normal blacked out RAM might not be a way forward. Maisie, do you want to go on your thing? Hang on. Sorry, viewers. Let me move some boxes a minute because Maisie's getting restless. Anyways, Maisie? Here, do you want to go up? There you
No. Go to the toilet.
go. Okay. Right, there we go. So, Stewie Norfolk says, does Signal RGB work with MSI motherboard and Be Quiet fans, RGB ones and Be Quiet case 2? Thank you. I can't answer that directly, but if you go over to, and I will find this for you, there is actually a compatibility list where you can work out what will work and what won't. Signal RGB. Supported devices. So let's go over to it. I'll show you. So don't want the cookies. So supported devices, you've got all the stuff here. So supported devices, so you just go through, find what it is you want, whether it's a keyboard, Wi-Fi adapter, monitor, laptop, whatever, pre-boot PC, strips, miscellaneous, all that kind of stuff. You can find out. So in terms of motherboards, MSI, so looks like most of them. There are a few exclusions there, but most of the modern ones should be absolutely fine. Oh, great. And they've also got affiliate links to motherboards if you buy them. Because actually, fun enough, I have heard this, that people are actually buying hardware based on what Signal RGB works with, which is like really impressive, really. MSI Be Quiet fans. I'll look for fans. Be Quiet. Where are we? Fans. And do we go down to Be Quiet? So it depends on which ones. Yeah, Light Wings should do. They're new. The new LX they're in. Light Wings 120. They're actually a staff pick, so they work very well together. But they do require component setup. That's not a difficult thing to do. So that should be fine. What else did you ask for there, Gentleman Bad Boy? No. Who's it who asked? Oh, Stewie, wasn't it? And the Be Quiet case. So let's have a look. Cases. Do they show cases? No, cases. Be Quiet. Which one was it? Oh, you didn't say which Be Quiet case it is, but yeah, it would appear that yeah, dark base, pure base, and shadow base should do. If it's just a normal 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB, it should be absolutely fine. But yeah, what I'm saying is, like, a lot of stuff here will work. Now, if we look for something like fans, and let's have a look for Lian Li. So those will work, but it doesn't list any of the flex ones, the new flex ones, because of the controller in the flex receiver not being well, not being very compatible. But older SL fans, that will be fine. So potentially that might be an option to go with the older fans, like SLs, SL120. That might work. But yeah. Model Citizen says, Stewie Norfolk, this is an MSI sponsored channel. Apparently, so yes. It's not. We're not sponsored by MSI. I actually would love to be sponsored by MSI because it would help pay the bills, but we are not. I just like MSI products in general. Motherboards, I find them to be very good, and yeah, I'm not sure what the question was actually even regarding that. Gentleman Bad Boy says, yeah, or cover it. I'd rather plain RAM or cover it than headache you mentioned. You building it for a mic, you got a choice of top AIO or side AIO like me. I think because he's bought the reverse fans, the block of 3 reverse fans with the LCD on, I'm pretty sure that's going to be on the side mount. So I would, well, actually saying that, the AIO has got to go on the top because it's part of the Hydroflex or Hydro Shift. So it has to be top mounted. Alexa says MSI is the best unless I find a brand that's cheaper. See, ASRock in general are cheaper, but I don't like using ASRock boards in general. They used to be really good. Like the B450s and the B550s actually were pretty decent, but the new AM5 stuff has been pretty poor, and they've had some pretty spectacular failures, which they still haven't actually addressed. That is still going on to this day. It's been like 2.5 years now. John says he should have waited for advice before ordering. I don't know the history there. I've got no idea what the history was of why he chose the parts he did, whether he was advised by somebody else, whether it was advised by a salesperson from Overclockers, or I'm pretty sure it was Overclockers that it was mentioned. Model Citizen says, at Mugs and Boxing, just joking, I generally buy MSI myself. I do. MSI and Asus, I buy myself. I generally do. I like using Asus products. I like using MSI products. Gigabyte, I don't mind, but I would prefer Asus or MSI. And ASRock are at the end. And I would put ASRock along with kind of BioStar and Genui and Sapphire and brands like that. David Under says, ASRock, cheap and nasty. The thing is that is what they intended to be. That was always the idea. ASRock was always a budget brand or spin-off from Asus. Vianney says, Asus are by far the best if you don't mind spending the extra, which I don't. God bless you. Yeah, my Asus Z890 Tough Gaming Wi-Fi motherboard today, or was it yesterday? Today I was editing a video and everything seemed to be like fine, and then it just had a hard lock, just literally just stopped everything. Like RGB stopped, the mouse stopped, everything just stopped solid. I was like, what the hell has caused that? I rebooted. I think the day before Premiere crashed, but it was right because it went back to like an auto save. I make sure now that I set the auto save period to be like 5 minutes or less, just in case, because it's a real pain to redo editing. But yeah, I had 2 crashes in 2 days. Whether it's the heat, I'm not sure. Funnily enough, going back to Signal RGB, I did notice that Signal RGB seems to have had an update to the software, and it's messed up my fan settings, and also it messed up my pump settings for my AIO. So I noticed my pump was like down to like 20% or something, rather than the usual 100% I set it at. So I don't know whether it was a thermal issue, but I didn't see temperature spiking much, which I thought I would have done. So yeah, I'm not too sure. A bit unhappy about Signal RGB doing that. If there's an update, reapply the previous settings. Don't just decide what you want the fans and pumps to do, because that potentially could be dangerous. Anyway, there you go. Stewie, I think that's got to be the quote of the day. I find MSI center thing to be a bit wanky at times. I will agree. Today, funny enough, I'm not sure whether it's the latest Windows update which has done it. I know there was a security patch that was out on Tuesday this week, part of Patch Tuesday. And since the updates, I'm sure that both of my PCs have been acting a little bit weird. So yeah, that could well be related to it. But yeah, certainly I noticed today, I was making a video on how to uninstall AMD drivers, and after I did it, I was thinking, my fans seem a lot noisier than usual. Now, it was super hot in here. It was like 30 degrees plus. So yeah, ambient temperature is much warmer than it normally is. So you would expect the fans to ramp up a little bit. But I went into MSI Center and it took ages to load. Then I went into the fan section and all the fans were showing 0 RPM. I was like, yeah, clearly that's not right. So I turned it off, left it off, turned it back on, and it's been fine. But yeah, I am finding it, as you said, wanky. Very much so. That is true. David Underhill says, I love MSI so much, I created a Facebook fan group, of which you can join. And I would strongly suggest you do. Myself and many others on our Discord, and possibly some of you watching, are members of that. So if you want to, and if you're on Facebook, then have a search for David's group. And if you want to, David, you're more than welcome to post a link to it in the chat to help out the viewers. Sinister Chef says, soon I will have a dual MSI setup. Excluding one AIO, it will be a majority MSI. Arctic and MSI to be exact. Good stuff. Model Citizen says, my GPUs are Asus Prime 9070 XT and MSI Inspire RTX 5070. OC, not flexing, if that sounds like it. Horrible situation we are in for PC pricing right now. No, I get it completely. I'm lucky I bought a lot of stuff prior to the collapse of the economy. Who's that? That must be Otis. Good old Otis. I'm actually, I gotta say, I know a lot of people hate this, and Hardware Unboxed and definitely Adamant IT would probably be in the camp that would say, no, Mike, you're wrong, just wrong. But I actually really like my 5060 Ti, the 8 gig version. It's been great. I really like it. It draws very little power, makes no noise at all. It looks great, and it plays everything that I want it to play. And it like sensible resolutions, like 1440p or 1080p. 1440p, medium to high settings. It's an absolute beast. For what I paid for it as well, which was like a really good price, it's been amazing. I love it. It's great. And in fact, I think I'm more disappointed with my 9060 XT 16 gig than I am with that. And that cost about £100 less. I think the 9060 XT 16 gig is one of those really misleading cards that is, it's on paper it sounds really good, and the 16 gigs of RAM kind of sells it for future proofing, but it's just not a really powerful card. Like, yeah, it's got some grunt, but for what they're selling for, you'd think it would be more powerful. At least I thought it would be. Anyway, but yeah, it's strange. I think a lot of people would probably completely disagree with me on that and say that the 9060 XT 16 gig is like a great card. I just don't feel that it's worth the extra money if you can get a decent deal on a 5060 Ti. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. David Underhill says, I never use motherboard software. Like, sorry, my mistake. David Underhill says, I installed Signal RGB and deleted it 5 minutes later. I hated it. I'll be honest with you, I am using it on my daily driver. Like I said, it messed up my fans. Or at least I think it messed up my fans. I've been running it on there now since, when did I make the video? I must have made the video for about a month ago. I hadn't used Signal RGB for ages before that, and I'll be honest with you, it's been very unintrusive. I've actually got to the point where I forgot it was actually on the system, because I thought today, when the fans were ramping up a bit, I was like, why are my fans ramping up? And I thought, actually, what software have I got on here? Am I using just BIOS control, or am I on fan control, or Signal RGB or something? I didn't even know what was on there. That's how unintrusive it is. And if it wasn't for looking in the taskbar, I would have not even known it was on there. And it surprised me. I thought, oh, forgot to install that. Because it just gets on and does its own thing when it's working normally. It's actually quite good software. Whether or not I would pay for the
Like a jar.
my chair's squeaking a lot.
Jesus.
Always like a long fart. Well, on a cable. No, not. Yeah, no, it worked really well. I was quite impressed with it. Actually saying that, yeah, the fact that you can actually use a piece of software and not know that it's on your system, that shows that it's doing its job. A letter says I wouldn't walk across the street for a free NVIDIA GPU. I know what you're saying, but you would.
What is it?
John David Sullivan says I don't have any MSI cards now. They're NVIDIA only. What you mean, like Founders type cards? Sinister Chefs joined. Awesome stuff. Good stuff. Joined the Facebook market thing. Facebook group thing. Sinister Chef says I was lucky to get my main rig built before the whole pricing went crazy. It's a great card. To be fair, I have been very pleased with my 5070 gaming trio. David Under says the 9060 XT 16 gig is great for the price. I guess it depends where you are. I'm not sure how the prices are. Like here in the UK, at the moment, the 9060 XT 16 gig is like 400. So that's like 800 Aussie dollars. But are they that much in Oz at the moment? I'll be interesting to see. I bought my Sapphire Pure when it was on offer. I think I paid $370 for it. And I'll be honest, I've not used it a great deal. I probably should use it more. I am a little bit spoilt. Again, I bought that card just before things went a little bit too crazy. And I got an amazing deal on my 9070 XT, which is my video editing PC. I paid like 420 quid for it. And it's like, that's a £600 card all day long. Same actually with my RTX 4080, which I paid 250 for, I think, because of a pricing error on eBay. I've still got that card. I don't think I'm ever going to let it go, just because of how great a value it was. I might frame it when it dies. Is that dying? No. Oh, there we go. Oh, the text is moving out. Great. Paul Lamont says, I do agree with you, Mike. Signet RGB is good for that. Cheers, Paul. Well, actually, no, I haven't seen in tonight's stream. Netrits. Or have I? Who's Netrits known as otherwise? Because
Senrab, I don't think we've seen either.
Because no, Semrab's got his son.
Oh yeah, did see that.
Netrits, bless your heart. I meant to mention this. I haven't emailed you yet, but Netrits has just joined our Patreon. The £5 tier. The pen, no, is that pen shirt? Pens or t-shirts? I can't remember. Whatever. Pen friend, yes. Thank you for joining the Patreon and supporting us that way. Vianney says, I use Armory Crate, never had a problem with it. To be honest, yeah, Armory Crate in itself, I was disappointed when Armory Crate took out the driver updater and put it into the separate ASUS driver update software. Which, yeah, like, the whole point of like these things like MSI Center or Armory Crate or Gigabyte Control Center is that it's kind of like a one-stop shop. So you got your updates, you got your motherboard control, you got your fan control, RGB control, maybe a little dabble of overclocking and stuff like that, updates, etc. It should all be there. So when they start taking it out of there, it's like, well, that was part of the kind of the allure. What's that, Maze?
I'm thinking, baby.
Anyway, that's my thoughts.
Put it down there.
David Underhill says I paid 495 Aussie dollars for my Sapphire Pure 9060 XT 16 gig. Jeez, that's the same card as me. And I paid 370 quid.
Do you want this?
No, you don't want those, do you? Do you want me to order those or not? No. Yeah, so you got a really good deal there. Gentleman Bad Boy joined the Facebook group as well. Awesome.
What group is it?
On Facebook there's an MSI owners group. Alexa says, don't take what I say too serious. I never do. Good. Life's too short to be taken too seriously. Paul Lamont says, my Radeon RX 7800 XT has been my card of choice for a couple of years now. I bought one of those and I was disappointed. But the reason I was disappointed is because I bought the dual fan model. I bought the Sapphire AMD reference card. So it ran a little bit hot. I should have really paid the extra and went for a 3-fan model. I think the 7800 XT needs the 3 fans. At least for my case and setup it did anyway. Gentleman Bad Boy says, I still want Mike's cheap 4080. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know where it is. It must be down here somewhere. Oh yeah, it's down here.
Poppy?
Skystalker says, and the pen is fantastic. Oh, from the Patreon. David Owner says, Australian price for the 9060 ST was 700 Aussie, and the 5060 Ti is 999. Jeez. Dutch Chan says, of course I talk to myself. Sometimes I want advice from an expert. That's what Kath does at night. It's quite funny. I listen to Kath talk in her sleep.
What?
She quite often talks. It's concerned now. Most like this week, it's been too hot or something along those lines. And it's been quite funny. It's like, yeah, it is really hot. Like, yeah, it is hot, and then she doesn't respond. So clearly, it's just like something you're saying in your sleep, sort of thing, subconsciously. And
Cool, what else do I say?
I can't think. Some of it's like quite garbled, but it's like something like, oh yeah, we go to the shops and do that, or something like bizarre things. Quite funny. But she obviously says it because she wants a reply from an expert. John David Sullivan says, I always go triple fan designs. I try to. If there's a deal to be had, I will sometimes go for a dual fan, but for mid-range and higher end cards, I think you do have to go triple fan. Aletta was banned from X like about 5-6 times at least, from what I can remember. Every other week it'd be like, oh, I'm banned from Twitter again. Or Facebook or wherever. Skystalker said, you don't know where your 4080 video card is. That is a good problem to have. It kind of is, isn't it? Actually, it is in there because it's the same size box as the AIO. I've got 2 AIOs either side of it.
Hold on.
Rasha says, I'm self-employed. If you see me talking to myself, don't worry, I'm having a staff meeting. Letter says to Rasha, on X, I told someone COVID won't last long because it was made in China. Oh, there we go. Demonetized. Sinister Chef says, my other half has a 9800X3D and a 9070 XT now. Some pretty powerful stuff there. I think we've got to the point now where, in terms of PC parts and components and stuff, I'm really starting to like the older, lower powered stuff, which is like attainable.
Like my PC that never crashes.
Kath's PC that never crashes, apart from when she's in Premiere. You know, it's crashed again.
I don't think it's crashed.
You said that?
I haven't.
No. It's not supported anymore. Graphics
It's
card.
not supported, and that gets on my nerves because, like, why have I got to click a button every time I use it?
Kath's
It's no
computer
different.
is starting to complain about the GTX 1060, which is in there.
What do you mean complain?
The computer's complaining that it's in there because it's not supported.
No, it's not supported because of Windows 10.
There's Windows. It's the graphics card, isn't it?
No,
The
it's
drivers.
Windows 10.
What? The Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
Ah,
They
sorry,
picked
my
up
mistake.
That message by having, so they've got.
I thought it was the
they've
graphics
got
card being
Premiere
too old.
on their side to kick everyone into using Windows 11.
So
for 'em.
Adobe Premiere
Makes
is
no
now
difference.
complaining if you're using Windows 10. Apparently, I thought it was the graphics card.
But it makes no difference to it whatsoever. But you can, it won't just load up. You've got to click another button to say, okay, I'll work with the known issues, which has no issues apart from the red triangle.
Sky says, "Is that with your 400 Chrome tabs open?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
never crashes. I never have Snap on a stream.
yeah. Kath's rarely
I've had
crashes.
it about twice, I think.
I don't know why mine crashes all the time on that. I can hear the fans ramping up again.
Never have ramping up fans unless Mike's been playing with a case
Yeah.
and the remote's hit mine.
Currently, this single stream, I've only got one tab open. Actually, I'll show you. Where are we? Stream desktop. So you can see, live streaming, I'm currently using 4.1 gigabytes of RAM for one tab. Well, technically it's 2 because I've got the chat open. If I close the chat, it might actually stop.
I have my chat open all the time.
Yeah, you haven't got pop-out chat, have you?
No. But what everybody else has, it does a Snap thing.
Does that reduce it? No, still 4.1 gigs. I'll just make that bigger now. Yeah, that's easier. So now you can see what I see. I can't click on stuff now. Dutch Janssens might give Kath a decent GPU. I would, quite happily. I do want to upgrade that PC, but she likes it and it works. And it's not broke.
And when it gets upgraded or anything, it all goes pear-shaped like my phone.
Yeah.
To take a screenshot, I've got to do 3 extra things now. So I don't
Bless.
update.
Dutch Janssens is only 959 megabytes. Who worries about 4.1 gigabytes of memory when you have 128 gigs? I don't. I've only got 32. I'm probably using most of that. Let's have a look. How much am I at now? Oh, look on the other side. Oh, I'm at 50% RAM usage. OBS Studio's using 670 megs, and Chrome is using 5,700 megs. So basically 5 gig. Oh, hang on, it must have crashed. Yeah, it crashed as I was talking. There we go. Stream desktop. Oh snap! We have an oh snap moment, and now currently we are using 5.4 gigabytes. Oh dear. You couldn't make it up, could you? The fans have gone quiet now. So let's refresh the page. And now we're using 636 megabytes, which is basically the default for a tab in Chrome. Yeah. Cool, that stuff. Okay, right. Gentleman Bad Boy says, should do a Kath upgrade stream where she builds with a little help. She would never do it. She would not go on camera. Well, yeah, there's loads of reasons why that would happen. She doesn't want a new computer. She wouldn't want to be on camera. And she doesn't want to build a PC, I don't think. Do you? Really? You probably wouldn't mind, but you wouldn't want to do it on a stream, would you?
No, unless it was off me. You brought me a mask and
If I have to bring her one of those blur masks, you know, where you put on it, it just obscures your face.
a voice change, yeah.
Never know. David Underhill says 128 gigabytes of Kingston Fury Beast means no panics about memory usage. You're very lucky. Very lucky indeed. Right, we're coming towards the end of the stream, so I'm going to take a look at the power supply that I shouldn't really be looking at, but let's do it. I've decided I've got to do it. because I'm intrigued. And when I get intrigued, I might get into trouble for this. Who knows? To be honest with you, they probably don't care. Oh, down to 26 degrees at the moment. That's good. So this is the Thermaltake Dock Power FI. I don't like the FI. Why is it FI? What does that mean? FI. I think FI is that connector. I could be wrong, but someone Google it and see what an FI connector is in servers. I'm sure that is what that is. We may have to investigate that further. But anyway, so dock power, FI, 1000 watt power supply, build faster, upgrade smarter. So the principle behind this is that the PSU is one part, the cabling section is another part. So you wire up your PC, all your parts in there, etc., put it all in. If for some reason your power supply should fail, or your power supply needs replacing for some reason, you can just undo that screw there, take out the power supply, replace the power supply, and plug your existing cabling back into the new power supply, if it's one of the FI range, obviously. I kind of like that idea, but also the little person in my brain also wants to pick that out as being a bit daft. And I'll give you a couple of reasons why that's a bit daft. Because I would assume, I don't know for sure, but I would assume that when you buy a dock power FI power supply, it comes with a breakout box and its cables. So if you decide to buy one of these and then you upgrade your power supply to a 1300 watt, for instance, because you need dual connectors for your graphics cards or whatever it is, then you're going to buy another power supply with another breakout box and another set of cables, which means that there's going to be a lot of cables and breakout boxes that are going to end up in landfill. So it's not really going to be massively helpful. I don't really quite understand it. It makes sense, but only if they sell the power supply on its own, as well as doing the breakout box version, like a full version. If they don't sell the power supplies on their own individually, it's going to be a bit pointless, I think, personally. And also, I cannot really envisage a world where I'm going to keep my power supply and cables and my PC set up for a long enough time that I need to upgrade the power supply that frequently. Because a lot of us now buy power supplies that are like, I don't know, 650, 750, 850, 1000 watts. When was the last time that you've bought or had a setup and you've bought a new graphics card that you weren't able to just plug in with the same power supply? I honestly can't remember the last time I've done that. I'm trying to think. I cannot think of the last time that I built a PC or upgraded one of my own where it involved me upgrading my power supply because it wasn't powerful enough. Because I think most people tend to kind of overspec their PSU a little bit anyway. And I can't think of a really, like, this has got a 10-year warranty, which is pretty good. But I can't really see a world in where you would need to upgrade. Like if you bought like the 650 or 750 watt model, then maybe in 5 years time, maybe you might want to upgrade it to something else. But I just don't know. And it's not like changing a power supply in a PC is like a Formula One pit stop. You're not really that much against the clock, are you? Like, I guess if you're a streamer or it's a business environment, then you want to get it done as quick as you can so you can get back up online. But the difference between unplugging a few cables and rerouting your cables, especially if you don't cable tie them all down, which quite a lot of us probably don't, you just got Velcro in the back of your PC, it's quite easy just to undo the Velcro and just pull the cables out and put new cables through. Now, I get some cases are going to be a bit cramped. So like your EPS cable is going to be in the way, or it's going to be awkward to get to because of maybe your AIO or something's hanging down. So it's like a pain in the ass to get to. But yeah, it just strikes me as being that they're trying to possibly fix a problem that I personally don't know exists. So let's have a look. So again, sorry Thermaltake for being a little bit negative here, but I just don't get it. Like it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool that they've got something which is a bit new and a bit different. I like that. But if it costs dramatically more than a normal power supply, I don't really see the point. So there is your breakout box, which actually is surprisingly heavy. So you've got your breakout box with all your connectors on. So you've got motherboard connector, you've got 3 peripheral outputs, you've got 3 CPU or PCIe there, another 2 there. So you've got 5 of your 8-pin type connectors, and you've also got 2 of your 12-volt 2x6. So clearly graphics cards with 2 connectors are coming, or for maybe AI workloads possibly. And essentially there's 2 locator lugs on the back, plugs into the back of your power supply. You do up the thumb screw thing on the back here. What do they call that, where you've got like a little knob on it and it spins around like you get on a monitor stand? So you get that, plug that in, tighten it up, blah blah blah. That's it. It's kind of locked in place and you're done. So you can leave your existing wiring in place. So that is yeah, kind of weird. Kind of weird, but I kind of like it as well at the same time. But again, it's got to be at a price point which makes sense, because otherwise, like, just buy a normal 1000-watt power supply. The only reason you spend more on a power supply is if it gives you something, gives you more. And there, bloody hell, that's a big fan in there. So that I think is a 135mm cooling fan in there. Might be 140. That's huge. But it's got the typical Thermaltake look to it. So you've got the kind of Darth Vader's bathroom grill, which is really good. Good for airflow. And on the back, there is your kind of connector. So just to demonstrate, you would go like that. And then tighten up that connector. And do that up nice and tight. And there you go. There is your kind of assembled power supply. Kind of weird, but kind of funky as well. I do sort of like it. So 10-year warranty, 80+ gold rated. What we got? So we've got 83.3 amps on the 12-volt rails. So that's 999.96 watts. So basically 1000 watts. You've also got 20 amps on 3.3 and 5-volt rails each. So yeah, it's got a decent amount of power to it. Again, I don't really quite understand how this helps, really. I don't really understand it. The logic behind it. Thermaltake have been doing some weird things recently, I gotta say. Actually, that connector is pretty firmly on there. But it does seem that that's a little bit scary, that all of that current goes through just those tiny little gold connectors on there. But no doubt, actually saying that, the gold connectors is just like a massive, massive plus and minus. Huge, actually. So yeah, that is the kind of the consensus about what it's all about. Let me know in the chat. Like, because obviously I've got to do some form of review type video with this, and I don't get it. I'm confused. It's a confusing time. Of course, it comes with obviously all your cables and the nice Thermal tape bag as always. You've got German power lead as per usual. Cables are nice, etched cables all bundled in there together. So yeah, that's nice enough. I just don't really fully understand what they are trying to do. I guess that's my job as a kind of a reviewer to work out what's going on. How does that go back in there? Like that. Am I... Dave, what are you doing? Get in that box, damn it. Am I missing a part of this box now?
Maybe
Oh, yeah.
looking a bit jealous.
Get out of it. Come on, Dave, out.
Dave. You'd be scared when you pop a bubble in that little wrap.
Let's stick that back out there. Oh, Dutch Jan says, Mike, 1038. What happened at 1038? Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat there. 1038. Dutch Jan, question. Have the cables been adapted for this? I mean, made shorter? No, as far as I can tell, the cables are exactly the same. And it even says on the back of it, don't use cables from other brands. So, I don't know. Cool Cat says, Mike in chat, I saw a nice deal, 250 quid for a Ryzen 7 Plus full-size Wi-Fi motherboard CPU combo. Is building anything socket AM4 architecture a sensible thing to do if the price is right? Yeah, AM4 is still very much alive. It wouldn't have been if it hadn't been for the RAM crisis, but the fact that it is still available, yeah, it's genuinely an option. And some AM4 stuff is really good. Again, depends what you want to do. There's so many AM4 processors. You've got the likes of like the 5900, the 3900, if you want to do kind of video editing and stuff, loads of cores, 12 cores, 24 threads. If you want gaming, you've got like the 5800X3Ds. If you want something lightweight, you've got like 5600s, that sort of stuff. 3600, 3800, 3900s. Yeah, there's lots to choose from. DDR4 RAM is definitely cheaper, but in investing that much money in a platform. Now the thing is, we were kind of under the impression when this first started, the RAM crisis, that it was going to be roughly 2 years. And we are, what, 8 months in. So arguably you could say we are almost towards the hump of that 2-year period. So could it go on longer? Probably. Is the AI bubble going to break before then? Possibly. It's really hard to tell. I honestly don't know. If you need a PC, AM4 is definitely the cheaper way of building it at the moment. Whether or not it's the more sensible choice, I would struggle to say yes or no. Personally, if it was me building a system for myself now in 2026, I would buy an AM5 processor on AliExpress. I'd get a bargain basement motherboard on Amazon, and I would go on to eBay and pick up some DDR5 RAM for probably about 100 quid less than retail. It's not ideal, but that is what I would do personally. Because then you've got the longevity of the AM5 platform. Obviously, AM5 is going to have better performance in general over AM4 because of the better IPC, etc., etc. Support for more RAM, and it's actually easier to get larger RAM sticks in DDR5 than it is DDR4, because DDR4 was always like the norm was 16 gigs for a system, whereas now with DDR5 the norm is like 32 gigs. So the 64 gigs and the 128 gigs are a little bit easier to come by, whereas you try and get 128 gigs of DDR4, it's really, really hard. Skystalker says it is really just pointless, and this is another point of failure. Pass. I get you. John David Sullivan says, solving a problem that doesn't exist. I get it. A separate panel stroke PSU may be more useful if there is an extension cable available. Says David Underhill. You do need a lot of space to place this. It needs a little bit more room than a standard PSU, that's for sure. Because it's, well, it's 135mm fan, I think, or 140. So the PSU itself is about 150. Then add on about another 15mm. So it's a 165mm power supply, which is a little bit bigger than most of the power supplies. Most power supplies are getting smaller, so it's like 140s, 150s tend to be the norm nowadays. So it is adding on like a chunk. Not huge, but it certainly is a bit. Greg M says, last year for me, I do not game. I had to get a new PSU since my systems are used till they die or are dead slow. David Underhill, British Formula 1 pit stop, fuel and tyres, 5.2 seconds. American F1 pit stop, fuel and tyres, 6.1 seconds. Australian F1 pit stop, booked in for fuel and tyres next Friday. Rasher says people are usually shocked when they see how bad I am with electric. Very good. Logan says maybe if it had the option to place the box on 2 different sides of the power supply. Yeah, Logan says it can only go on one side, so a bit pointless. That power supply from Amazon in Italy is €170, so likely a similar cost to the EU. Yeah, that it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. Sky says, originally I was thinking that you could choose the side of the PSU the connectors would be on. That at least would have made some sense. Yeah, it's bizarre. It is bizarre. Letter says, why is it so hard to find black replacement keycaps with no lettering for my Razer keyboard? I'll see if I can find where our son got his, because our son's keyboard has got no light, well, it's got like a, almost like you know, like on old weather maps or old maps you'd get like the relief lines, like tell you how high it was or whatever. It's basically got those all over it, but it's got no letters on as far as I can tell. So I might be able to find out that if you want. Don't think they were cheap though. Vianney says AM5 is faster and runs cooler. I don't know if AM5 runs cooler. I would disagree with that, especially the X variants. The X variants of AMD processors always just try to hit 95 degrees, especially like the 7000 series. Some of them can be quite challenging to cool. John David Sullivan says, what about 16 gigs or 32 gigs DDR5? Would you say it's worth paying the premium? Depends what you need it for. If you're playing games or your video editing, stuff like that, 32 gigs you're going to need really. You might be able to get about 16. A lot of games these days do use up quite a bit of RAM. And I did find my system getting towards like, I guess I did have a lot of stuff open, like Discord and everything's open, but even just playing a basic game like, I don't know, Fortnite or something, it was creeping up towards like 28 gigs of RAM in use. So 16 gigs would have been a problem. But I guess it depends what you're playing, what you've got running, etc. Based on the money, you can always make little changes to make it a little bit easier for yourselves. Viali said it should have said the 9000 series. Yeah, 9000 series is a little bit easier to cool. I think, well, part of that is due to the design, but I think also they changed the thermal interface, if I'm right. Alexa says, I found a couple of companies that sell the keycaps I want, but they're on eBay and I only trust Amazon. Yeah, Amazon are not particularly well known for doing a massive range of keycaps. Right, I think that's pretty much it. I think we have exhausted the situation. Not the situation, the conversation. Obviously, there are many things we could discuss, but that is probably best for our Discord, or you can even chat on David's MSI and Corsair owners group if you wish to on Facebook. He's already put the links in for that. I've put the links for our Discord in the chat, so if you want to talk with other like-minded individuals, or Rasher when he's pissed on a Saturday night, you're more than welcome to do so, and try and keep him under control. I'll try and remember to give him the timeout after about 1 a.m. That normally works. Otherwise, I come down to Sunday morning having to delete lots and lots of stuff. Bless him. He loves a drink. He works hard, so he deserves it. But can get a little bit keyboard warrior-like on a Saturday evening. Massive shout out to those of you that have contributed tonight, both financially. Obviously, you got Mark, Viali, Dutch Jan, Mark Gaines, Viali. Oh, I'm gonna have to look on my viewer activity. Rasher, Viali. That's the name of the show at the moment, and then Mark Gaines, and Dutch Jan. I got it. I got there in the end. It's been a really long week and it's really hot. I'm really tired, but the show must go on, and it does. Monday, there will be a new video out, which will be released for, well, hopefully, if they give me the go-ahead, thermal take and the Stage 500 TG ARGB case, which actually I liked. I did like quite a lot. And also coming up, there'll be the review of the new AIO as well. The thermal take, what is it? This one here. The ST360 Ultra. It's got a 7-inch screen, which is detachable. You can put it wherever you want. It's awesome. I love it. It's really good. That's fantastic. Again, the links will be out for that. Hopefully that'll be come out shortly, because they sent me the case to review the cooler, because then they decided the embargo date for the case is different from the cooler, etc. So anyway, it's all a little bit of a mess. The world is like that these days. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. If you haven't already, please take the time, if you can, and click on the like button. Also, if available, you are more than welcome to click on the hype button and hype the stream. That would be fantastic to get some hypes. Might help the video get out to more people. And yeah, again, thank you all for your kindness, your contributions, your conversation, because obviously without you being here, it's a bit pointless me sat here talking to myself or shouting at Calf. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Thanks for watching. Oh, and have a great weekend. If I didn't say that already, I might have done. Getting tired now. Losing the will to think. Thanks, everybody. Catch you later. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, the end stream button don't work now, does it? Let's do that another way. Let's see if this works. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye. Say bye, Calf.
Bye.
Bye. Did that work? No, that didn't work either. I did.